Hi all! Everything in my video is pulled from the public domain, and I am using them under the Fair Use, Fair Dealings guidelines. Everything I say is my own opinion. You should look into this information for yourselves, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. Good morning, everybody. Yes, I have time for a video today. Believe it or not, my husband is flat on his back sick. And so the heavy stuff that needs to be picked up, I can't pick up on my own. Everybody's working. So that leaves me sitting here in the house doing a video. Yay for us. Okay. This is going to be an interesting one. Hang in there because some of it, yeah. Okay, let's just jump in and go, shall we? Let's go. We are going to start off with the Duke of Kent today. He went and saw the National Army Museum and toured the new Conflict in Europe Gallery. It's going to open to the public on the 7th. So it's open. All right. Next up, we have Arthur Edwards, who put up this post that they did a film on him documenting his life, which has been spent photographing the British royal family, and it's going to be screened on Saturday the 8th at 8:30 p.m. Really quickly, I just want to touch on this because I think it's interesting. And it was put out by the royal family. You see these coins? The designs, which is a crown numeral, have not changed since the reign of William III in the late 17th century. And the coin you're looking at is a 4-pence that was issued for Queen Anne in 1708. Pretty cool. Next up, just wanted to show you the body language guy. We all love him. He is now merching some products for the coronation. Looks like some good stuff as you're seeing there. Don't forget to get in there quick and get it because it's going fast. Next up, we're moving on to King Charles and Queen Camilla. They were in New York doing something. It's a tradition that goes back hundreds of years. The king presented something called Maudy Money. This went to 74 men and women in recognition of service that they provided to their communities. I think that's a lovely tradition. Now, each of those red pouches has £5 and 50 pence, I think it's called. It's a commemorative coin. So the £5 is supposed to celebrate the king's forthcoming 75th birthday, and the 50 pence coin commemorates the 75th anniversary of the Windrush generation. Very interesting. The number of recipients of the money is determined by the age of the monarch. So the reason 74 men and women are getting it is because Charles is 74 years old. Very interesting. Now, the bouquets that you see Charles and Camilla holding are traditional. They're called nosegay bouquets. Not sure what that significance is, but they look lovely. Now, this Maudy Money tradition started in Yorkshire, and apparently this is the first time that, well, I guess it is. It's the first time that Charles has done this since he became king. So after they signed the books, after they took the obligatory photos, they walked out of the church and they headed over to the crowds. And as usual, there were a lot of crowds. Now, yes, there were 1 or 2 people standing there going, "Not my king." You got like 10 people to every 5,000 that show up in support. I think Camilla looked lovely. I loved her outfit. The crowds were obviously happy to see them. I think everything is going along swimmingly so far for Charles. All right, let's move on. All right, next up, we're going to discuss something that's come up in the UK. There's a U.S. historian who's been researching royal slavery links, and she's disgusting as far as I'm concerned. She unearthed documents that linked the royal family to slavery. So when the queen died, she criticized people and said they were fawning over the queen hours after she died, saying that she was not universally loved. And she said that she really wasn't all about the Commonwealth. I can't. My brain just will not accept the things that this woman has said. They're just so disgusting. You know, you ought to be more careful about the disgusting, horrible things that you said, because less than 24 hours after the Queen died, she liked the tweet from the fellow academic who said, "I can't bear the fawning, it's disregarding." And she wrote back, "Yes, it's revealing." So she apparently found a document from 1689 which shows the transfer of 1,000 pounds of shares in the Royal African Company to King William III, who is better known as William of Orange, from the company's governor, Edward Colston. Now, this woman has apparently decided she's going to ignore the fact that the UK and the royal family paid owners and businesses to end slavery, and that the UK outlawed slavery way earlier than the United States did. The United States had to have a civil war in order to end the slavery. This woman is claiming that everybody in Britain has benefited from the slavery. She also took a pot shot at Harry. She's not letting him off the hook. I mean, look what's written at the bottom of this tweet. And then she's going on about, and Meghan Markle, it's next level what they've done to her. So what does that tell you, people, right off the bat? She's a Sussex Squad. There you go. She criticized the Queen for not acknowledging or apologizing for the exploitive history, completely ignoring the fact that an apology was already given by Albert, Queen Victoria's husband. Now, keep in mind, this is an American, okay? She said that we've evolved past needing the royals and said they're inbred, sitting atop a pile of stolen wealth, wearing crowns adorned with other countries' treasures. So while King Charles has spoken quite openly and made several speeches about slavery, and he's willing to do an open and honest and true discussion, we all know that that's just opening up a can of worms, because the next thing that's going to happen is people are going to be demanding money, cash. Oh yeah, you owe us reparations for slavery. Here's something that I think most people are missing though. Don Lemon from CNN was on TV with a historian bringing up the whole slavery issue and reparations, and this woman basically pointed out the truth. Listen to this.
Across the entire world, when the slavery was taking place, which was the first nation in the world that abolished slavery? The first nation in the world to abolish it. It was started by William Wilberforce, was the British. In Great Britain, they abolished slavery. 2,000 naval men died on the high seas trying to stop slavery. Why? Because the African kings were rounding up their own people. They had them on cages waiting in the beaches. No one was running into Africa to get them. And I think you're totally right. If reparations need to be paid, we need to go right back to the beginning of that supply chain and say who was rounding up their own people and having them handcuffed in cages. Absolutely. That's where they should start. And maybe, I don't know, the descendants of those families where they died in the high seas trying to stop the slavery, that those families should receive something too, I think, at the same time.
It's an interesting discussion.
You know, it's just like Shouty Shola. Her family was part of the people who rounded up their own people and sold them. And she actually changed her Wikipedia. Is it Wikipedia or her ID? You know, whatever that thing is. She took off all the information about her royal family, about her family, so that they couldn't trace it back to her. So I agree. I think it's a big mistake and an act of folly. Slavery was outlawed and abolished a long time ago. Apologies were already made. I mean, why do you just keep rehashing this over and over and over again? And I've said this before. You want people who have never owned slaves to pay money to people who have never been slaves. You know, move on. That would be like me suing Germany because of what happened with the Nazis. I mean, it doesn't work that way, people. You got to move forward. You got to move forward. And the way you don't forget about the past, but the way you make sure it never happened again is to educate. You know, giving you cash doesn't fix anything. All right, moving on. We're almost at the end here. What it comes down to and what these articles are now saying is that Meghan has already dished so much dirt that the only thing that she can do now is divorce Harry and cry victimhood. I had to get rid of him. He was using drugs. He put our family in danger. He was dangerous around the children. That's going to be the next thing that happens, because they're saying she's going to have to hustle like the Kardashians if she doesn't want to become obscure. That's what she's going to have to do. These articles point out that she only goes to events where she's paid, and that if she keeps doing that, eventually, nobody's going to do anything with her. I mean, already her popularity is going down the tubes. So is Harry's. I mean, it's just not good. So I'm like, if she doesn't start doing something right, it's just not. I got to be honest, I think they're unrecoverable at this point, especially since she's writing a book, and we all know that that book is going to be how bad the royal family treated her. I mean, we already know what it's going to be. More victimhood. Ugh. All right. Now, let me tell you, this article came out that Harry and Meghan are furious over the balcony snub. I take this as clickbait, and let me explain. I do not believe for 1 second that the palace is in communication with Harry and Meghan. Harry himself said in this last interview that he gave, where he was pushing up the spare with Anderson Cooper, that he is not in communication with his brother. He's not in communication with his father. After knowing now that the trust is broken and they absolutely can't trust him, there is no way that they are communicating in any way, shape, or form, because they know if they do, either Gayle King is going to break news on the morning news, or it's going to end up in their third or fourth version of the spare book that's inevitably going to come out. So I don't believe for 1 second that they're angry about the snub, because I don't believe they're having any communication at all. And let me also point out that Harry made it well known that they were not going to go to that coronation unless his wife got her apology, which they didn't get, that they got security, which they haven't received. So if they go, now they look like a bunch of hypocrites. Moving on. The next article I want to touch on is this one that says that Harry will never get U.S. citizenship due to the backlash from the spare. Let me tell you something. Harry's not going to try for U.S. citizenship. He doesn't want to be a U.S. citizen. He's a prince of the U.K. realm. He's not interested in being a United States citizen. He never was. And this very last article is one of those clickbait ones. Cowardly King Charles will do anything to avoid a confrontation with Prince Harry and Meghan Markle ahead of the coronation. Cowardly Prince Charles? No, I don't think so. Charles is playing the long game. He's winning. Harry and Meghan's popularity is in the toilet on both sides of the country. Look at his face. Look at Harry's face. Does that look like somebody that King Charles is worried about meeting up with? I don't think so. Harry's a broken man. That's very obvious. So, you guys know what to do. Leave those comments below. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the bell to be notified when I upload content. If you've already done that, then double check and make sure that you are still subscribed, okay? Don't forget to go up into the description box where you'll find the links to my Twitter, my Getter, my Rumble, my email, my Patreon. There's an actual physical address just in case there's something you want to send. And if you've already donated to my coffee fund and to my thanks button, thank you so much. And as always, you guys, have a great day.